The other game that we called out, I think, on the preview, and we were both hoping for something a little bit closer, was this Ole Miss Georgia game. So going in, Ole Miss was about an 11.5-point underdog on the road in Athens. Georgia wins 52-17. How many times have we seen this happen? Just think back over the last 5 years. How many times have we seen it happen where a team scores on Georgia, or the first couple drives a team has against Georgia are productive? Don't always lead to points. It did in this game, but don't always lead to points. We start thinking, maybe we got something here. Maybe we got something brewing here. And then Georgia figures it out and the game's over.
Yeah.
How many times? I feel like that happens more often than not with Georgia. And the only exception was the Kentucky game. That was a flash fry. They just beat the brakes off them right away. But most decent teams find themselves in that camp when it comes to squaring off against Georgia. Takes them a bit to settle in. You got to get your points before they do. Otherwise, it's over. Georgia in this game, Dan, put up 52 on Ole Miss. They had 628 in total yardage. Remind you, a top 10 team in Ole Miss. They were ranked 9th coming into this one. Brock Bowers came back. He had a touchdown. It looked effortless for Carson Beck in this game. He was relatively unscathed.
Yeah. Throws the ball over the middle super well.
Throws it over the middle, seems very, very poised and comfortable in the offense. He's been in the offense for 3 years, so that helps. The Georgia defense, maybe not as impregnable as we have seen in years past, but still very, very good. No denying that at all. And you suddenly get midway into this game. You're looking at the score. You're thinking this thing is effectively over. You're looking at the Georgia schedule. You're wondering, does Tennessee have a shot next week? The game's in Neyland. Then you look at what happened in Tennessee. It's like, well, probably not. It seems as if, whether we knew it or not, much like Alabama, which we'll get to, Georgia is also getting better. Carson Beck is getting better. They are trusting him to do more with the offense. All the complementary pieces are there. It's not just Brock Bowers. It's Ladd McConkey, who had a big game. It's the 2 transfer wide receivers.
Brock Bowers back, by the way, after having surgery like 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Back after having, the tightrope surgery. So there's a lot that I think you need to be excited about if you're a Georgia fan. Maybe it's old hat for the rest of us. Georgia going for a three-peat hasn't happened since the 30s, so that's at least a historical point of reference. But 52-17, Dan, you beat Ole Miss by 35 points. It sort of removes all doubt that we had about this offense at this point. I mean, they're just really freaking good.
Yeah, here's my shocked face. You can use the tone of my voice as a guide. Georgia's the best team in the country right now. And you can make arguments for specific units, for specific results, but if you watch Georgia play and you watch anybody else play, sure, maybe the best of Alabama, the best of Jalen Milroe, the best of this defense, you can make a case that they're dangerous and interesting, and they have also gotten better over the course of the season. This is not the Alabama team who struggled against Texas and lost by double digits, nor is it the Alabama team that was embarrassingly bad on offense against USF, nor is it the Alabama team that almost gave away the Arkansas game. This is an Alabama team. Teams are allowed to be living, breathing things over the course of a season. And Alabama has grown much in the way that Georgia has grown. Georgia has gotten healthier, specifically Ladd McConkey and now Brock Bowers. The receivers that have come in have stepped up, specifically Dominic Lovett, is making a case to be a really strong addition for Georgia. The offensive line has gotten better. We saw big runs from Kendall Milton. Obviously, Dejon Edwards has been that guy all year long in an all-purpose role. And as the defense gets healthier and drops a couple of key guys. I think they lost a safety today, a linebacker last week. It's what depth is for, and they are coming into their own. When you lose as much as a team as talented as Georgia is every year, which will continue to happen to draft or transfer, maybe it takes some time. Losing their offensive coordinator, bringing in the old new guy, or sort of retaining him because Bobo was there in an analyst role last year. They're just getting stronger over the course of the year, and they looked incredible. They caught Ole Miss in a good moment because Ole Miss, snuck by Texas A&M last week, and so maybe there's just a little bit of emotional exhaustion there, and everybody gets up for Georgia. But even still, everybody has these moments. Georgia's just able to push through them in a more dominant way and looked crazy impressive against Ole Miss. They really did.
They absolutely did. We did see Jaxson Dart go down. He took a hit second half of this game left, Spencer Sanders came in. I did not see what the update is on Jaxson Dart. It would be a bummer if he missed any time. Lord knows that Ole Miss has plenty of options at quarterback. That was part of the intrigue going into the season.
Yeah.
But Jaxson Dart has been pretty good. By and large, has been a really good quarterback and seemingly has gotten a lot better from what we saw last season. So if he is out for any period of time, that's definitely a bummer. But it was always a wing and a prayer, I think, for people who want chaos, that Ole Miss could pull some sort of upset, that Ole Miss with its offense could give Georgia a game. The liability was the defense, even though the numbers are strong. The liability is defense. We talked about it on the preview show.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a situation where the defense looks good on paper, has looked good in previous affairs, suddenly where the rubber meets the road against a really good offense, you see what they're really made out of? That is essentially what happened again. We saw that happen last year as well. So Ole Miss still a very good team. We'll wait to see what happens with Jaxson Dart. Quinshon Judkins, still fun as hell to watch. They've got a lot of great talent on that team, but Georgia is just in a different stratosphere